October the 3rd, 2024, another day out here in the greenhouse here in northeast Texas, and I haven't looked at the temperature. I know it's in the upper 80s, probably close to 90, and boy, if you're out there in that direct sun, it is terrible. But anyways, we're here in the greenhouse, and I've spoke before in some of my previous videos of community pots. And that's where I put multiple seeds, such as these, hello Mr. Lizard, these golden berries here, or these Thai red roselles, and even these Inga Volpina ice cream bean seeds. We've got more over here, and I do this quite a lot. If I can get around here. Got some tropical passion here from seed. And here we have some Passiflora foetida, another type of passion flower. And I sow the seeds like this, and then see what comes up and what survives. And then as they get a little larger, I'll separate them out. And pot them as needed. Now, usually I wait till they get 2 or 3 sets of seeds, but this pot here, papaya, I don't know how many papaya seeds. I think in my previous video when I was showing that I did this, I said probably a couple hundred. I don't know, but it's a lot. And they're crowding each other out pretty good and getting real leggy. So rather than wait for them to get 2 or 3 sets of leaves, I have took some out. Now what I do, and I'll use this soil here, I got some pre-moistened potting soil. I just go in kind of beside a group of them, kind of loosen the soil up without just pulling on them. And that way I can get them out without tearing up the roots. Now these little seedlings don't have much root structure. You see that? And yet they are, you know, over 3 inches tall. So I've got these little cloth potting bags, and I filled some of them with soil. I've started out with a dozen of them. I'll probably make more of them. Filled them with some of this pre-moistened potting soil, and I'm putting these in there, and I'm going to stick these in this pot for right now to hold them. And it's still going to be kind of like a community pot. So what I do is I just use this marker as a divot. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so forgive me. And I just get me a little hole started there. And that's one good thing about this pre-moistened soil, is it'll hold that hole pretty well. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. I'm not seeing it well because it's pretty bright out here. I think it's collapsing a little bit. So anyway, so what I'll do is I'll just take one of these little seedlings here, and make sure it's got them through some way that I actually broke all the roots off of. But when you have that many seedlings, you're not going to use them all anyway, let's be honest. So I just stick it down in that hole, and that hole goes at least half the depth of that bag, and that's about how deep these were. And I'll just kind of squeeze that soil around that, and there you go. Put it down in there. When I get finished, I'll water these really well. And I'm not sure. I may use in my water, I may use a very dilute amount of fertilizer to help kickstart them. I'm basically out of my Osmocote, where I put a few granules of that in each one. So I'll see what I have, and I hate using like some of the commercial fertilizer, but I do have some here, and I will probably dilute some of that down and using the watering. So there we go. And when I get them finished, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I got 16 of these little things packed in here. And if you'll notice, they're kind of looking a little weak, wilted over. And I've done these before, pawpaws, and I have noticed that they tend to do that. They go into a little bit of shock. But 9 times out of 10, they'll perk right up. Now, that's one reason why I plant so many seedlings like that right there. You don't win them all. But most of these should perk up. You see that one, they're just laying way over. You also notice the little yellow balls in there. I did find some that had a little bit of Osmocote left. And I like this when I'm transplanting plants or putting new little seedlings. It doesn't burn them. I was talking a while ago about using a dilute solution, because some fertilizers can burn tender plants like this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to go put these over here. Now, this is where they were growing, that other pot. I'm going to go get the other one real quick before I go any further, so I don't forget. Now, these seeds just come from a grocery store bought papaya. And I basically got this because all the papayas at that time at that store were fairly small. I mean, they were, you know, a little more than a hand size. So I'm hoping that possibly they're a dwarf variety. And I don't know. Now, what I want to show you is, you see these 3 in this big pot here. Now, I potted these just a couple days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I don't remember. And they got all wilty too, but you can tell they perked up. They're looking fine. And so I'll probably do a few more pots like this, where I have 2 or 3. And eventually I'll probably have to either try to transplant 1 or 2 out of there, or cut them out or something. I have noticed in the past that pot size can hinder the overall size of the tree. So if I just leave all these in there like this, you know, in a month or 2, they, compared to these, probably won't even be a third or a quarter of the size of what these will do, with more room to grow. I've noticed that several times in growing these. So anyways, there's my papaya. Australians call them pawpaw, but we have another fruit here that we call pawpaw. So papaya. Hope you enjoyed that video. And also how I do my seeding in what I call community pots, because you have more than one plant. You got a whole community of them there. And then you can come in at some point and take out the ones you would like to take out and transplant. Hope you enjoyed that. God bless.